Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to reading for the next 20 years. We are going to look and see what is going on for you. We're going to just pull like 5 main things that could be coming in for you over the next 20 years. I'm doing this mostly because we have Pluto going into Aquarius, and that'll be happening in March. It is going to retrograde out quickly, but at the same time, this is like the start, and it'll be there till the end of 2043. Really, we're going to be dealing with the energy until 2044, so, whatever. But we're just going to see what comes up for you during this time. In your first row, you have this Panther Spirit says, reclaim your power. So definitely, clearly, a time to reclaim your power and to kind of like take things on. It's funny, you have this persistence card. I see that there. And, I do feel like persistence is definitely going to be heavily rewarded for everyone during Pluto and Aquarius, but I would say that it is clearly going to be very, very rewarded for you. So if you have any new ideas, any new things that you want to do, I would say anything that you want to reinvent as well. Like if you want to reinvent yourself or reinvent your business, those things seem to be kind of like heavily aspected here in your reading. So that seems to be, that's like standing out to me. So there's something here about needing to remove something toxic from your life as well. 5 of Cups, 10 of Swords, Lovers, this. So I don't know, some of you could be overcoming something toxic in your life. Could be a person, a habit. I don't know, I kind of get devil vibes here. It's very weird. Something that you're conflicted about. For some of you, could be heartbroken about it as well. It's like, I gave up pizza this year. And I'm going a whole entire year, no drinking, no bad eating, no none of that. And it breaks my heart to not eat pizza. But and then don't come at me with your cauliflower pizza either, because that is not pizza. That is rabbit food basically. So don't try me. But what I would say here is, again, it's for the best. So it's like, is there something toxic that you need to give up that would make your life better? I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. You have the 5 of Cups, 10 of Swords, and Lovers. I do feel like you need to not give up on love if you want it. Some of you could be getting very close to that place, I feel, especially at the beginning of Pluto and Aquarius here. But, the whole point of him is that he needs to turn around. He needs to see the 2 cups behind him. He's crying over something that he's lost his taste for on the 5 of Cups. He's lost his taste for wine, but when he turns around and he focuses on what he wants, guess what he sees? The Page of Pentacles, someone new or something new. And he also sees this bridge that leads to this castle. So quite simply, I feel like this is also saying something is dead, done, over with, the 10 of Swords. It could be something from the past, something that you lost your taste for. And what's coming in is probably something that can heal your heart or something that is going to be much, much better for you in your life. The interesting thing is, and at the end here you have this love card, says true love, fidelity on it. It could be an earth sign or a fire sign. Earth and fire really stand out to me here, but if you're looking for love, it could be an earth or fire sign or someone who has a lot of earth or fire in their chart. And it looks like true love. And again, this person, it's like someone who, I feel like they've gone through very similar things to you. I feel like I said this to you recently as well. It's definitely like repeating. So that tells me it could be a person that maybe you spend the next 20 years or longer with, right? And here you go. You have the Lovers. If you're not looking for love, I feel like the Lovers is saying to and even if you are, I would be looking for new opportunities, mostly because of this right here. You have the Page of Pentacles to the 9 of Pentacles, both cards of newness. And you also have that Knight of Wands as well. Knight of Wands is very like spontaneous, which again is a major theme during Pluto and Aquarius for basically everyone. I'm going to say it to everyone that I would be as spontaneous as I possibly could be. Any random opportunities for adventure, any new ideas, any new directions you could take your life, I'd be at least trying things or trying new things, because that's where all the success is with Pluto and Aquarius. I promise you. With the 5 of Cups, you have the 6 of Swords. See, moving on to calmer shores. You've been through it. 6 of Swords is a rite of passage, A rite of passage isn't meant to be easy. So I feel you've been through something difficult. It's almost like you're making yourself much stronger, especially with that persistence card. It's like you're turning yourself into someone who is unstoppable. And, again, I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but it's like sometimes I think when you go through something really hard in life, that it doesn't matter what happens to you after that. As someone who has been there, right? As someone who's lived it, I can tell you, it's like, it kind of makes you unstoppable. And I feel like some of you, or all of you really, are kind of getting to this like unstoppable place. You have with the Ten of Swords, you have the Justice card. See, there's something much better, much lighter, much happier coming in for you, especially once you let go of this past hurt. For some of you, it could be a relationship, but it could also be like a job loss or a business that didn't work out or something like that with the Ten of Swords. For a lot of you, I do feel there clearly is a love theme here because you end with the love card, but it could also be something that you love. Again, as I've said to everyone, Pluto and Aquarius, I think, is very heart-based. We need to be following our heart, doing what our heart is telling us to do, even if it seems hard, whatever it is. With the Lovers, you have the Queen of Swords. You see things clearly now. I feel like you see love clearly, or what you want in your life going this way. You do have the Five of Wands, which is conflict, competition, Three of Swords, which is heartbreak. Some of you could be gaining clarity on a past relationship around the March timeframe, because we have Pluto actually officially enters into Aquarius in March, and it's going to only be there for a short period of time before it retrogrades back into Capricorn, but it barely leaves the cusp before in January of 2024, it officially moves into Aquarius, and it barely leaves that cusp. Pluto's very slow moving, and it's very far away. So, it's like one of those things where really we're dealing with the energy now because it's on the cusp basically right now. And, again, but I feel like that March timeframe, you could be getting some answers. For your next thing, you have this snake card. It says desire attraction on it. So I feel like you are very attractive at this time. It's kind of like there could be people fighting over you. You have that Five of Wands. So if you want love, I feel like you have your choices here, or you have your pick of the litter. I would also be moving towards your desires, which I think, you have the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands. Both of those cards, they really are kind of like, I consider both of those to be kind of like the builders in the tarot, meaning that they're not like afraid to build something, especially the Knight of Wands. He's like the true builder as far as I'm concerned. The King of Wands, he's more the nurturer. He's actually very nurturing, even though he represents fire. He kind of like treats things like a baby. If he is creating a business, he like really nurtures it into existence. He really, really takes care of it. Same thing with like relationships and other things. And I feel like this is saying if you nurture your true desires, whatever is true for you, again, Pluto and Aquarius brings out the truth. It will be bringing out the truth for sure. It's like you ain't seen nothing yet. If you think that some of the truths that have been exposed in the world recently are crazy, hold your horses, right? Hold on to your horses or hold on to your pants. I don't know. I don't know which one it needs to be, but, hold on, because just you wait. But, I would listen to your desires. You have the Page of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles. I would say that there could be, of course, a new person coming in for you. Page of Pentacles is someone new, but I kind of feel that the Page of Pentacles is my card of studiousness. He kind of is not afraid to learn as he goes. So he's willing to learn about pretty much anything that he is doing in life, and, but he also learns as much as he possibly can. So I'd be learning. Again, it doesn't really surprise me. Learning's come up for basically everyone. And, Aquarius, learning new things. So, makes perfect sense to me. Sorry, I didn't want to do that. But you have this Five of Wands. Five of Wands is a card, of course, of conflict and competition. I think it's like the one thing that could mess you up at times is getting involved in conflicts. So I would avoid conflict at all cost. If you had someone who broke your heart and who causes conflict, I would avoid that person at all cost, because, I kind of see this row as you not needing any more burdens, right? It's like I would eliminate as many burdens as you possibly can from your life. And if there are people or places or things that burden you, maybe it's time to cut those things out. You have the Two of Pentacles, which is like work hard, play hard. Again, I do get like a very serious energy during the next 20 years, just intuitively. So sometimes when we're being too serious, we're not being loose enough. We're not, having fun. We're not doing things that we enjoy to do. We're not developing hobbies and things like that. It's like when we do that, then we just create a very stiff energy, right? And I feel like we are in a time of flexibility. So this, to me, is really saying, like, it's okay to work. You're probably going to want to work hard. You're probably going to want, and obviously you're getting results. Nine of Pentacles, Six of Wands, major success. You have that persistence card, which looks bad, but it's actually a good card. And so there's a lot of success, but again, I would make sure that you're doing other things. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, if this is a person, it's like a forever person. I love the King of Pentacles for love, and it doesn't matter what gender it is. I feel like there could be a person who wants to enter into your life who will be permanent, who wants something permanent as well. You also have two cards of skill. Normally he has grapes on his cloak. You have grapes right here on the Nine of Pentacles. Grapes in the tarot require very specific skills to grow. They kind of represent something that is difficult to grow, and something that requires skills. So I would be tapping into your hidden talents, gifts, skills, and abilities. Again, Pluto and Aquarius shines a light on the things that we're interested in. It's a star card, right? So I would embrace that energy for sure, Scorpio. With the Five of Wands, you have the Page of Pentacles, new person coming in for you. Definitely could be a Earth sign here. I feel like you're conflicted, though. I feel like the person you're attracting is conflicted as well. Again, like I said in your, I don't know, mid-January reading, I think it was, of 2022, or 2023, whatever year it is, I don't know. Like I said in that reading, it's almost like you're attracting a person just like you. It's like they've been through exactly the same things in love or whatever. It's like you're both being too cautious. So someone has to kind of open up here if you're dealing with love. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Swords, victory. Again, your laser-like focus is going to be the thing that leads to this victory right here. So Ace of Swords is my card of laser-like focus. It is my card of like focusing on one thing at a time and making it happen. She has a falcon on her hand right here, represents laser-like focus. So, a lot of you, focusing on what's important is going to be important. You have this card that says, don't worry so much about not finding love. It will find you. Yes, definitely, I feel there's a person finding you. Probably on some sort of adventure. Knight of Wands, King of Wands, like you could be traveling. They could be traveling to where you live. I don't think it's like long distance or anything. I mean, maybe after travel, like, it would become long distance, although I think this person would move very quickly. They're probably successful, King of Wands, so whatever gender, doesn't matter. You also have this persistence card. It says your persistence will pay off. Don't give up now. I'm pretty sure I've titled one of your recent readings, Don't Give Up, as well. It says you give up too easily when things get hard to accomplish. Yes, I feel like you need to see things through to the end. And again, that is definitely going to be Pluto and Aquarius. I mean, I think that it's going to be one of those things where the environment that we're in, Nine of Pentacles, we have to be very careful of our environment. And I would say the environment we're in might not look like it's going to allow us to be successful, but it actually is. So, we need to not listen to the little voice that tells us we can't do something. You have the Three of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, and the King of Wands. Right here, we have a snail. The snail wears its home on its back. Your environment is going to be very successful. I think that setting up environment of success is super important. Like I always say, like when I come in here every single morning, I hit one button right over here, everything turns on. I don't have to touch anything, right? It's amazing. It makes my life so much easier. Totally removes resistance. I literally have like a billion things that run everything here. So it's like it would take me forever if I had to turn everything on one by one, right? So without just that one button setup, it would create a lot of resistance. And that's what I mean by creating a positive environment is like, are there things that you can create in your environment? Are there things that you can do in your environment that make your life easier? It's like, I always think of like, is there some neighborhood kid that can come cut your lawn, for example? It's like, it might sound ridiculous. And I know it's cliche business advice, but, it's something I always think about. It's like, it's like if your time is worth a certain amount of money, doesn't it make sense to just have someone else do some of your chores for you, right? Especially if it's like a neighborhood kid cutting your lawn or something like that. And I'm just giving you examples here, but it's like, are there things you could do? Maybe, and they don't even have to cost money. It doesn't cost me any money to flip this button, right? Maybe cost me a penny, a penny of my time, right? But what I would say here is it's like, are there things you can do to make your environment more successful? There's a great book by James Clear, The Power Habit, or whatever it's called. I can never remember. Atomic Habits, actually. And the book basically talks all about that. Creating the way to create habits is to make things easier, to put things in places where you're going to take advantage of them, basically. So anything you can do to do that, I think will lead to a lot more success. I feel like you're healing from a heartbreak, but I do feel that practicing forgiveness would be a good idea. Three Swords isn't about forgiving a person directly. It's about kind of just forgiving and moving on, forgiving yourself, removing those swords from your own heart so that you can move forward because, true love is clearly coming in for you. You also have the King of Wands here. It's interesting to me that all three water signs have had this card. I think that it is water's time. It's your time to shine, but along with that comes responsibility, hard work, persistence. It's like the energy is there for you to shine bright, for you to get a lot of attention, especially in work or business, to make a lot more money, or love as well. But you're going to have to put the work in. I always say to people, it's like, we have to work with the energy. I always get comments from people that are like, you said this would happen and nothing happened. I'm always like, yeah, because you have to work with the energy. Nothing just happens. This isn't magic, right? This is a piece of paper right here, right? Flimsy piece of paper with a picture on it. If you don't take action, nothing is going to happen. So you need to be bold. You need to be assertive. Don't be afraid to build new things. And also, King of Wands, he has these salamanders all over his cloak. And salamanders in the tarot represent protection from fire. So it kind of says, like, do not be afraid to take risks. Do not be afraid to do things differently or new things in your life, whatever. With the Three of Swords, you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords, I feel, is talking about being curious. You could have a person, if you're still watching a person, I'm not calling you out here, Scorpio, but I know how you operate. So if you're just watching a person, then I feel that you should stop. Not telling you what to do, but again, watching tarot readings about them probably is just attaching your energy to them. It could be them as well, so maybe you need to do some like cord cutting or something like that. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Your fortunes are definitely changing, I feel, especially financially. Again, it's not going to be magic. It's not going to magically happen. You're going to have to take control to make this happen. I see like a lot of opportunity for leadership, especially with that King of Wands. So, if you want to be a leader at work, step into a management position. If you have a business, you want to start a business, be an entrepreneur. I mean, King of Wands is, to me, it's the best entrepreneurial card in the tarot. So, it's time for you to turn things around. With the King of Wands, you have the Ten of Swords here. Yeah, definitely time to let something go, though. Definitely some victories. Here's what I'll say, is that right next to it, you have the Ace of Swords. On a traditional Ace of Swords, there's a palm frond on one side, olive branch on the other. And the palm fronds in the tarot can represent a sacrifice. So it can basically say that there is a sacrifice that needs to be made. And I feel like some of you, it's just about kind of letting go of whatever this is right here, the Five of Cups. Some sort of regret or disappointment or something that didn't work out how you wanted it to. And this is why, right here, because of this card. Because this card says true love and fidelity. Even if you don't want love, I feel like what you're holding on to is nothing. What's coming in for you is something. Something much better. It is something that you are going to love. So if it's love, it's true love and fidelity. If you don't want love, then it could be like a business you love. It could be just a person that you love as a friend or a family member. It's like all these things are coming in, but I think you have to let go of the old world to kind of have this new world that I see kind of coming in for you with this card. And, it kind of fits in very well with the astrology. You have the Six of Wands, Four Swords, and the Knight of Wands. I would be as flexible as you possibly can. Pluto and Aquarius is all about evolution, evolving, innovating, experimenting, all those things. So anything you can do to evolve, experiment, try things differently, anything you can do to iterate on your successes. Again, when you have a success, it doesn't mean stop. A success says take that success and how can you multiply it by 100, right? Or 1,000? How can you work on some things that you've already done and make them better, right? And that's what the Knight of Wands does, and that's what I'd be doing if I were you. You have the Four Swords, plenty of recovery time. I would be taking all the recovery time that you need. This could literally be sleep. It could be meditation. It could be anything. I also feel like you need to believe in miracles a little bit. Sometimes this is like my Tinkerbell card. The whole point of Tinkerbell is if you don't believe, she doesn't exist. And you have him praying. He's praying for these blessings. There's a person who's being blessed right here in this stained glass window. So I feel like there could be blessings that could be coming in for you, but you have to believe. You have to know that the blessings are for you as well. You have the Six of Wands here. Six of Wands is a card of great success, so I do feel there's a lot of success and achievements coming in for you. It's 12-12, by the way. So a lot of success, a lot of achievements, a lot of abundance coming in here. And yeah, I really like this quite a bit for you here, Scorpio. It looks pretty good to me. You have with the Six of Wands, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Very independent energy as well. What I'd say is you could also be attracting a person who's very, you're both very independent. That does not mean you don't want to be together. But I always say, to me, two people who are perfectly fine on their own is great. That is like the perfect person to be with sometimes, right? Not always true. But what I would say in your situation, I feel like you could be very kind of like focusing on your independence. They're focused on being independent. And because of that, it's like you don't need each other. You just want each other. And that makes it very successful. Also, I do see major changes in your finances for the better. With the Four Swords, you have the Temperance card. Yeah, just remember Temperance. You can turn a no into a yes. You can also turn a yes into a no, a positive into a negative into a positive. Choice is yours. You have to work with the energy, but you will be successful if you do it. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, Pluto and Aquarius is basically the collective. Definitely says that teamwork makes the dream work. So anything you can do to work with other people, it's basically true for everyone. Kind of boring, but I feel like it'll lead to a lot more success. The other thing I'm getting is that the Three of Pentacles is the card of quality work. So whatever you do for work or for business or to be successful in life, I would make sure that you're focusing on quality and not necessarily quantity, right? we're going to pull 5 more things here. You have this rebellion card. I mean, it is a time of rebellion. Anything you could do to be rebellious, right? We're not talking about breaking the law here or anything like that, but we're talking about like stepping outside the norm, coloring outside the lines, making something more interesting, and thinking outside the box. All that stuff is going to be heavily, heavily rewarded during Pluto and Aquarius. It's like, I always tell people, it's like, yeah, like a lot of astrologers say Pluto and Aquarius is the collective. I'm like, well, it's not only the collective, it's also the individual. It's like both, right? Yes, there's going to be a focus on the collective, but as an individual, we have to kind of like make ourselves different so that we don't just blend into the crowd, so that we can stand out. And that's what I'd be doing here. You have this companionship card. I feel like there's a real companion. I feel strong love here. Again, my intention was not to talk about love in these readings, but if it shows up, I can't control what shows up. And you literally have the love card and the lovers and all these other love cards. So, I do feel like there could be like a very strong connection coming in for you here. I feel like you're both the same in the best way possible. I feel like you've both been through some negative things that you have to overcome, that you have to heal. Once you heal it, then I feel it looks really good. You have this caution card. Yeah, I would be cautious of like attention. It's a time where we are going to be getting a ton of attention. But look at all these animals. It's like she can't give everything attention. So, I think that there needs to be some making sure that you have your priorities set correctly over the next 20 years seems to be a focus here for you. Again, 9 of Pentacles, your environment, things like all these things are kind of coming together here. And what I would say is I would just make sure that you have your priorities straight, that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, all that other stuff. You have this loss card as well. This is that past loss. And this is Saturn and Pisces, by the way. We have Saturn going into Pisces this year. So, some of you, it's like, something is dead, done, over with. And, you can see that crow is picking over that skull. But I feel like you need to realize that something is dead, done, over with. And you already know what it is. I think you just have to move on from whatever it is, whether it's a relationship, a business, an idea. There's so much good new coming in for you here. And this is what you have to push through, is resistance right here. So anything you can do to push through resistance or things that are causing resistance in your life would be a good idea. I'm going to pull, you have this escape card. No running away from things. I feel like you have to run right towards things. I feel you have to face things head on and make it happen. Again, I feel this is definitely true for all water signs, just based off the astrology over the next 20 years in general. So, there's going to be resistance where you might not feel like doing things, but it's actually you wanting to do something, but just not wanting to put in the work. I'm not calling you lazy here, but what I would say is no escaping from things. I would run right towards things that you want to accomplish because you will accomplish them. Plain and simple. But it's a really good reading here. Good stuff coming in for you, Scorpio. So thank you for being here, Scorpio. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy the next 20 years.